One of the first things we need to do to this Losi rock ray is we need to get some XT90s on it. Okay, so we need to take this out in order to swap it over. So that looks like 1.5 millimeter, that's a 1.5 millimeter screw. So I've unscrewed those two screws. It looks like it just pushes in, so I need to get to the other side of that somehow. And I don't know how yet. So on this side of the truck, it is in there. I can barely see it in. I don't know if I'm going to have to take everything off to get to that, or if I can get in through the back here. I'm going to try the tire and this cover. And then, yeah, that plug is just right behind this cover. To get this faux radiator shroud out, there's two screws. One on this side, one at the top on each side. And now will this thing come? Let's see how it shifts, and out it is. Okay, and then here are my motor wires right there that we need to solder on. I think in order to make this easier, I'm going to take this top plate off. It is just 4 screws, and they're all 2 millimeter. With this off now, you can actually see some more of the detail of the interior here. It's kind of fun. Look, the co-driver has not only a GPS race screen in front of him, but he also has course notes, and you can see some of the other details here of the drivers. It's actually pretty fun. Look at that huge speed control right here in the middle. That thing is a monster. Check that out. Again, 2 leads coming off here in parallel. Since I had the screws out of the bottom, look at this, comes right out. And we have plenty of space too. You can see it's zip tied here, along with the ESC wire that goes to the receiver. So plenty of space to snip that, take this apart, and get some XT90s soldered on. This plug that they have inside here, really pretty nice actually. I'm sad I'm going to have to cut it up for my XT90s. But you can see the EC5 connectors sit in there, and then there's just this plate that holds them down onto here. 3 screws, all of them take your 1.5 millimeter wrench. So I'm going to take that off. Okay, it is out. Alright, you can see all those EC5s, beautiful EC5s, just slid right out. When you look at one of those versus a XT90, you can see the EC5 is probably actually a bigger plug. I think it's supposed to carry more current. I just have the rest of everything that I run is on XT90s right now, so it's more about convenience. See, the XT90 is slightly bigger overall shape, so of course that means that it will not go in. It will not go in here, right? And so what we're going to be looking at is how to shave some of this material out so that it can fit. Look at this. This is what we've come up with. So, in simple terms, what I did, I took that piece that you saw before, sat it down, used the angle grinder with the simple cutting wheel on it, and I just came in and sliced down in and squared off the edges to where these XT90s will now sit in here beautifully. The other thing you'll see is in order to keep the clean lip on it for the bottom side, is you have to cut this edge right here. But now with this, it will sit down into the Super Rock Ray's chassis. These cannot pull through this direction, and then we can still put this on the other side. Now you'll see a gap, so that does not prohibit it from going up this way and creating a gap in that direction. So what I'm going to do, since you can just buy these little blocks separately, and the fact that I don't think I'm going to change XT90s anytime in the near future, I am going to put just a couple dabs of glue, super glue, to hold these XT90s exactly where they are once I've soldered the wires on. So now it's time to get the truck up here and solder these ends on to the speed control. So here's where we've gotten. both in. All items are soldered, all the wires are soldered on. And so what we're going to do is we're going to tuck this back down in this chassis, screw it back in, zip tie up back the wires, and then we're going to be in business. There we go. XT90s installed, plug back in. Now I will note that on the bottom side here, when I first put them in, because of how I offset the XT90s, remember I cut out the bottom notch and I just slid the XT90 into that plug, meant that the XT90s are actually slightly down, and although the plug's cleared, the battery would not go in because it would hit the chassis right here. So what I did is I took just your average file, I believe this is actually a wood file, and I just filed down the chassis ever so slightly right here to make enough room for the batteries to plug in. So there we go, XT90s in the Losi Super Rock Ray.